Hello dear friends of Dream About Anything. In today's video I will show you a project that is little more complicated than usual and therefore a little more expensive. A dreamer gave me this table because one of the legs kept coming off. Of course, I immediately had the idea to remake this table and turn it to a beautiful version of it. I will make a perfect glass table that will not be inferior in any way that expensive design tables that we see on the internet. In fact, there is one thing where they will differ greatly, and that is the price. As I look at the different designs, I like the clean glass once more. And that means I have to find a way to remove the black material from the glass, which I later find out was a paint. I will try to remove it to get a clean transparent top. But that will be left for a later stage. I start with the legs design first. And you are still watching the video. So do you like DIY projects? Subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos. On the channel page you will find dozens of videos with projects on all kinds of topics. I'm sure there will be something for you too. Welcome to our big family. And now I proceed with cutting out the necessary part. Without going into details, I will introduce you to the design I choose. I will need all these identical profiles. Using the protractor I will make 30 degrees marks at both ends of each profile. Then I will cut and weld them. My goal is to get 4 equal quadrilateral triangles. From them I will make the legs of the table. I cut the first profile on one side and on the other. It has to be perfect because I will cut all the other profile on it. I need 4 triangles. As we know, each one have 3 sides. That means I will need 12 profiles in total. I recheck the angle to make sure it's correct. I start drawing contours on each segment using the first profile as a template. Done. All profiles are marked. Now it remains to cut and grind and so on 24 times. Of course, I won't show you half of them. I complete this one and skip forward. Here is an almost finished triangle. I measured 3 times before cutting and the result is great. There are no gaps between the profiles. This will facilitate further welding of the triangles. I am finally done. It was a lot of work, I won't deny. But there is no time to rest. I continue with the greasing the profile. I use gasoline because it's cheaper than other products that do the same job. After a short break for a coffee, I start welding. The first triangle is ready. You can tell by my expression if I'm happy with the result. Any draftsman would be satisfied with such an equilateral triangle. And now the results are ready, thanks to the magic of the video editing. Further reflections of the design of the legs. I decided to give myself more time to think, so I tackled the tabletop. The paint from the glass top need to be removed. I will place the glass on these buckets so that it's convenient for me to work. I plan to use a paint remover to strip the paint. I haven't used it on glass yet, but I don't think there will be any problem. After abundant smearing, I will let the preparation work. At first I did not get the desired effect, so I repeat the procedure one more time. After a few hours of waiting, I can easily remove the paint from the glass. It took me about 20 minutes to scrub because the table is not very big. The table is 100 by 80, which is for a standard table for 4 chairs. I will let you to see the final result at the end of the video. And now, back to the table legs. I have already decided what the final design will be, and now I will present it to you. Here it is important that the sides of the triangle are aligned, thus the resulting legs will be straight and without distortions. Generally, I will put feet that are adjustable, but that's no excuse for leaving the legs crooked. After fixing everything, it's welded and cleaned. I will do the same with the other leg. The first leg is ready. I will have a second one in a second. The legs are done, and I'm figuring out how to connect them together for more stability. After considering a few ideas, I decided to stick with the simplest option. However, the focus on the table should be on the triangles. I will put 2 thin profiles so that they do not take away the attention from the legs. Again, welding and cleaning. After this procedure, it leaves me to weld nuts on the bottom and top for feet and adapters. I mark exactly where I will weld the nuts. I drill with a 10mm drill bit and weld them. The legs I have chosen can be adjusted in height and angle. The nuts are already fixed, so I can screw the feet onto them. On the upper side I make holes again, but the difference is that I make stoppers for the nuts. Now it's time to paint. If we come this far, then we soon will see the table finished. Final cleaning and degreasing and off to go. I have chosen 3-in-1 black matte paint, which is addition to protect against rust. It's also impact resistant. Also the black matte hides all scratches and imperfections. The table is dry, the fits and adapters are installed. Great solid black cover, like all. The design is also unique, it resembles an hourglass. But let me not get carried away, there is still some work to do before the project is finished. I tighten the adapters and start the last step. But since I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the finished table through the door, I decided to move it wider in advance. Since it would be different for me to glue the table top myself, I called a dreamer for help. I will use silicone that is crystal clear. I really hope it was that property. A tip: very little silicone is needed. If it is more, it runs and needs to be cleaned. Just don't make my mistake. We will fix with clamps until the silicone dries completely. Here is the final look on my design table. As I said, a unique table in itself. One and only. I'm proud because it took a lot of efforts and work. The past 13 minutes were the essence of many hours of work. I would appreciate it if you hit the like button and share this video. Thank you. If you like the table, write in the comments. If you want to have one, also write in the comments. You can also write to me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and whatever else you can find me. I answer anywhere. That was all from me, dreamers. I was Crash from Dream About Anything. See you again in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't and share because that's how you help the channel move forward. Thank you and goodbye.